In this video, we're going to be discussing some of the rules of logarithms. First one I'm going to give you is the rule of addition. Let's say you had a logarithm with base b of m plus log b of n. This is equal to log base b of m times n. If you think about this, logarithms are the inverse of exponents. So if you had the same base, let's say b raised to the x power times b raised to the y power, that would be b to the x plus y. In other words, you would add the exponents. So for logarithms, it works just the reverse. If you're adding the logarithms, then you multiply the m and the n in the argument position. If we take a look at this with real numbers, we could write an equation log base 2 of 4 plus log base 2 of 8, and we're going to see what that's equal to. Using our rules, we would multiply the 4 and the 8 together, and that should be let's see, log base 2 of 32. On the left-hand side, if we work with this a little bit, with each logarithm on its own, the logarithm on the left is asking us 2 to what power is 4? 2 to the second power is 4. So the value of log base 2 of 4 is just 2. The value of log base 2 of 8 is asking 2 to what power is 8? That's 3. We're wondering, does 2 plus 3 equal log base 2 of 32? So in the next step, we could combine 2 and 3, that's 5. And then here we have log base 2 of 32. So this is asking us 2 to what power is 32? Well, 2 to the 5th power is 32. So we do actually have an equivalent statement here if we use our addition rule of logarithms. So remember, when you're adding logs with the same base, got to be the same base, you're going to multiply the value or variable in the argument position. We can now also apply the same type of thinking to a different rule, and this rule is going to be the subtraction rule. Move this up a little bit. So the subtraction rule is as follows. If you have a log base b of m minus a log base b of n, that's going to be equal to log base b of m divided by n. Again, these are logarithms. They're exponents. It's not as easy as just taking the m minus the n and putting it in the argument position. There's something else going on here. There's something different going on. Remember back to your rules of exponents. When you had a base with an exponent divided by a base with an exponent, you subtracted the exponents. So for logarithms, it's just reverse. When you're subtracting logarithms, you take the m and the n here in the argument position, and then you're going to divide those. Always start with the first one, and then divide it by the second one. We could also try this like we did up here, but it does work. You can try it with anything that you'd like. There's one other rule that I'd like to talk to you about, and that is the power rule, and this is a very important rule as well. So the power rule, start off with a logarithm, log base b of m to the n power. And the n has to be inside in this argument position. It's got to be part of the logarithm. The entire logarithm can't be raised to the n power. It's just got to be the variable or the number inside here in the parentheses. This is equal to n times log base b of m. This n can be brought out to the front of the logarithm. I will show you how this one works though. So I'll give you an example with numbers. We'll do the log base 2 of 4 to the 3rd power. Using our power rule, we would state this to be equal to the or 3 times log base 2 of 4. We're going to take this exponent and move it out to the front. Wondering if this is true. Well, let's examine this a little bit. So we've got log base 2 of 4 to the third power. 4 to the third power is 4 times 4 times 4, which should be 64. And then on the right hand side, we've got 3 times log base 2 of 4. So 2 squared is 4. The log base 2 of 4 is equal to 2. Remember, we're solving for the exponent when we are using a logarithm. On the left hand side, we would have then 2 raised to what power is 64? And that power actually, made a little mistake there, that power actually is 6. So 2 raised to the 6th power is 64. That does indeed equal 3 times 2, which is 6. So this does check out with regular numbers as well, but you want to remember the rules. So we'll do just a quick recap. We've got the addition rule. When you're adding logarithms with the same base, has to be the same base, you will take m, multiply it by n. You're also allowed to go in the other direction as well. If we take a look at the subtraction rule for logarithms is if we have log with the same base, we're going to take the m in the argument position and then divide that by n, which is in the other one's argument position. And that you can rewrite that as log base b of m over n. The power rule simply states when you have a power of this value in the argument position, then you can take that power and bring it out to the front. And we did show a couple times that that does work.